Man, the other games around the league have been crazy too.
Yeah. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Chicago Football Connection podcast. I'm your host, Steve Letizia. You can follow me on Twitter at CFC Bears. Mute that. And joining me now is mute that as well. So I have too many stuff going on. Joining me for the first time is my new co-host, Luke O'Grady. Luke, thanks for joining me. We'll get into everything, what our plans are, but we're just going to jump into the game. Luke, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing, man. Bears win.
Yeah, hard to not
Bears
feel
win.
amazing after that game. I know you had a wedding last night. How are you feeling? Are you
Oh,
hungover at all? You
yeah,
just
it was rough. It was rough. It was a rough
rough
morning.
morning.
Yeah, I don't even really have much of a voice, so if I sound funny, that's why. But
Yeah,
man, what a game! I
what
think
a
there's a
game.
huge asterisk because of the weather.
Yeah,
Like I don't know
absolutely.
if I've ever seen a game that rainy in my life, but
Yeah,
I mean, I made a tweet a couple of weeks ago that said I think the Bears will be better than people realize because there's talent everywhere and we're like they're well coached by a disciplined head coach, and I think that's what won us the game today. I mean, with the rain like that, it really the game was up for grabs for a team that I think everybody would agree is probably better than we are.
yeah,
But staying disciplined, limiting mistakes, and then to be honest, the other part of the tweet, and we saw it too, was that we do have an X factor at quarterback. Once the it almost like the floodgate opened up. Once we had that big touchdown to Pettis on like kind of the broken play, that like
yeah.
probably only 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league could make swinging out like that. Justin just looked so much more comfortable. He looked controlled. That game was his. When Eddie Jackson made the pick and it was like second or third down on that drive going forward, I remember thinking, like, man, we have to score a touchdown here, and it would be so Bears of us to kick a field goal and then let them go get a touchdown. And that drive, man, it was inspiring. Team
Well,
looked good.
yeah. I mean, we were talking the other day. We were just messaging on Twitter, and one thing I said was, if Eddie Jackson can get back to the Eddie Jackson of old, this is a completely
Yeah.
different outlook on this season. But yeah, going back to what you said about the coaching, this coaching won this game because I tweeted in the first half, and I'll eat some crow a little bit, but the coaching didn't look good because it didn't. But this is a game that last year the Bears don't win this game. Not
100%.
they came out super flat in the first half. I don't think anyone could argue about it. I know the weather, obviously plays a factor into that, but by any measure, came out flat. They came out with a poor game plan. But we saw what good coaches do as opposed to bad coaches is they realized their game plan wasn't good and they made the halftime adjustments and
The
came back.
halftime adjustments, man.
Halftime adjustments. How many times have we gone into halftime down 10-0 or whatever it was, and then just being like, okay, well, this game's over.
Oh man, I will say
Every
like,
time last year.
dude, every time like the first half of this game, man, the tweets were so like everybody was throwing in the towel for the year already.
Yep.
And then the
That's
second
every game.
half, yeah, the second half came around and it was like, okay, you know what? This is the kind of football we thought we'd see with this team. They ran the ball well. Justin Fields put us in positions to make big plays, and also I think Getsy had a really really nice second half, like rebounding. Like it was a tale of two halves for the team.
Absolutely.
Like he had a couple of really nice plays that just got Justin some really easy completions. The the touchdown to Equinemius St. Brown was such a good play call there. 3rd and 2, and they had been conservative all game. And for Justin to come off the flat read and find ESB, man, it was just all so good. It was so encouraging.
That one was pretty. Yeah, and like I hand up. I was giving up on the first half for sure. Like I don't know. I just watched a lot of Bears games, and we haven't had a coach who makes those halftime adjustments. So I just wasn't even thinking about halftime adjustments. It wasn't in my brain. And and they did make pretty huge halftime adjustments because, like you said, the easy completion. There was that play. I think it was before the touchdown pass to Equinemius St. Brown, where it was just a little
flip to
screen
Mooney.
pass to Mooney.
Yeah, what a great 100%.
And like such a great play. Why weren't we doing that in the first half though?
I know.
I mean that's my only critique, but we got there eventually, and that's what I love to see. And like in the second half, we were running a lot more heavy personnel, a lot more tight ends, more fullbacks, more under center, more play action. That's kind of what I thought was
play action, man.
That's what I thought the offense was going to be from the get go. And so that's why I was a little hard on Luke Getsy to start because I was like, this is not the type of team to go 4 or 5 wide and have guys just beat corners 1-on-1. That's not the team we have. And so seeing them make that adjustment, that was really good to see.
Yeah. It was I had something I want to say. I will say though, we got to talk about the towel.
The towel. Oh my! I completely forgot about the towel.
The
I
towel,
feel like
bro.
that happened 2 weeks ago. It's been a
I,
roller coaster, to be
I was
honest.
talking to my dad on the phone at halftime, and I was like, I've watched like football like pretty religiously for
Yeah,
close to 2 decades now, and I've never seen anything like that.
never seen that. And that was just a cherry on top of a shitty first half.
Oh, that first half
Just
was
like,
hard.
oh, like kick us
It
while
was
we're
so
down.
bad because we didn't like. There were some exciting plays, like
Yeah,
the fumble from Jalen Johnson, who
yeah,
you gotta hope is okay. The fumble from Jalen
right.
Johnson and the recovery from Brisker, and there was like some plays that kind of kept you hyped, and it
Yeah,
wasn't too far off. It was only 10 points, but when we lost, like didn't get those points off that drive, I was starting to get I know these Bears.
yeah. I know. I felt the same way. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, 3 points. Wanted a touchdown, but 3 points. Go to halftime 10-7.
One score.
And then that stupid fucking towel. I've never heard of that. Also,
I know.
first of all, I never heard of it. Dumb rule. But second of all, it's also dumb. Like Trent Gill, like what is he gonna do? Wipe a wet towel on wet ground? Like what the hell is that gonna even do?
It's
But
also,
that's a
dude. What about when they get like? They made a good point in the broadcast when they're dealing with snow and they get the whole team out there clearing a path.
yeah. I
How is
don't
that
know.
any
That was
different? Is it
so
specifically
dumb.
because it was a towel?
I think it was because the towel was too big. I know
I
Will
did see a
DeWitt
tweet that,
from Chicago
yeah,
football like tweeted out something like the rule, and I think it was the towel. Like if it was a towel that that the players have on like their waistband they can use, but that was like
yeah, it was like 6 by 8 inches or something.
who knows? That was like, and then the worst part about it was too is that happened, and I was like, well, that sucks. And then it looked like the 49ers were going to get 3 points out of it too. Luckily, they didn't. But
I know,
yeah,
man, but that leads me to one of my points I wanted to talk about. Dominic
yeah.
Robinson.
What a game from Dominic Robinson! I was not expecting that. Like I
Dude,
liked Dominic Robinson, but I always said in like all my podcasts, I was like, he's a guy who like maybe by the end of the year he might.
I had this. I felt like he was a year away from being a year away.
I would have never guessed he'd get a sack in the first game of his career.
Dude, I think he ended up with like 2 because he had
Yeah,
1.5 going into half, and then he got a couple of those funny tackles at the end where,
yeah, where
like,
Lance is like sliding behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah,
yeah.
he might have ended up with like 3 sacks, which is
So
crazy.
he was a treat. That was
But
awesome.
yeah,
Um, Brisker looked
Brisker
great.
looked good. He had one play that stuck out where he missed a tackle.
Yep. Yeah,
I think yeah, but besides that, yeah, he looked pretty good.
he looked like he was around the ball the whole. He also made a play that doesn't up in the stat sheet, but on the last drive for the 49ers before they turned it over on fourth, and then
Yeah.
the rain really picked up and it kind of got out of hand. There was a play where they had a swing pass to the running back, and like Brisker came flying in and didn't really have the footing to make the tackle, but he just threw himself at the running back and like wrapped himself around, and it slowed him down just enough where like the pursuit of Roquan got to him, and
Yeah.
it's just like that's just what you get with Brisker. It seems like a guy
Yeah.
that is just always around the play.
Yeah, you can tell when a guy's just kind of have it. It's just because they're always in the right spot. They might not always make the play, especially when they're a rookie. They might not always make a play, but they're there and they're influencing it. And then as he plays more games, he'll just start making the play himself because he's just always around the ball. So
100%.
yeah, I thought he was very impressive. I thought Kyler Gordon had a decent game besides the one big play he gave up. I don't know. It looked like he thought he had safety help over the top. I don't know.
Which is weird because he was definitely like peeling to a 3 zone. So it's like he definitely it was weird.
That one we'll have to look at what the All-22 has, but yeah, it was a weird one. But besides that play, and again, we don't even know if that's his fault until we look at the tape.
Right.
But besides that play, I thought he played pretty well. Dominic Robinson played well. So the 3 rookies on defense, I thought played pretty well. For a rookie in their first game. So
yeah,
that's encouraging to see.
I would say, man, that like it's really hard to be anything but super positive about this game, man. Like it checked a lot of the boxes you wanted to see. Justin Fields looked way better than Trey Lance. He looked composed when the game was starting to get close. All of the rookies I thought did a fine job. Like Braxton Jones wasn't gonna not get beat by.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it was weird how they were doing the turnstile at right guard. But I saw a lot of reps I liked from Kevin Jenkins too, especially in the second half, man.
Yeah, that was we should probably talk about the offensive line a little bit. To your point about Jones, we knew he was going to get beat, but that was also part of the problem with their initial game plan with coaching. Not only like when I was saying they're not a spread them out and throw team, and then they came out with just one tight end, no running backs chipping, and just putting Braxton Jones on an island. Of course, he looked bad. Once they started going to those heavy formations and the play action, that helped Braxton Jones. I didn't really notice him after that because he was
100%,
hit it, which is what you have to do when you're going up against Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa. I mean. So yeah, and then the rotating of Jenkins and Patrick, I didn't get that at all. I don't think
These
I didn't
Bears
think
must love Lucas Patrick, man.
it must, but I didn't think Jenkins was playing bad. I have no idea why they kept like rotating him in. At first, I was like, okay, maybe Jenkins got hurt and Patrick was coming in to play as the backup. But then they were just rotating him.
It's also just like if you're gonna let someone, is your left? I mean, who knows? I guess we'll have to see exactly what those reps were like. And it seems like the Bears have just been eager to get Lucas Patrick on the field whenever they can.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It was weird, man, because it didn't look like he was playing too bad, but could have been a couple of reps with like assignment stuff that we didn't get.
Yeah, it could very well been. But that if that was the case, then why did they put him back in later on?
I know.
That's I
and
don't
he
know.
did later on too.
I'm sure the beat guys will ask the coaching staff about that. That should be probably like the first question they ask. So I'm sure they'll.
I'm excited to see those interviews, man. I hope they get Justin. We'll get Eberflus, and then I wonder who else we'll get.
Yeah, well, maybe Getsy. I don't know.
Oh, see, it'd be cool to hear Getsy's thoughts too, because he actually made a lot of comments in the last week that he was saying like, "I'm excited to get our game plan on film," and it almost seemed like he was already like thinking about how to use like what they have on film against people once they see it, and it seemed like he almost did that in the second half, like choosing to run on those third downs really early on, where we were like, "Yo, is this what they're doing this year?" And then choosing to do the heavy play action in the red zone to get that touchdown to ESB. Like it looked like he was building off what he had put on tape already.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think overall it was a good. I mean, I can't fault Getsy too much because we won the game. So, and I like the fact that they made a halftime adjustment. One thing that I didn't like seeing throughout the game, even in the second half, was running the ball on second and long. That's my biggest pet peeve. It doesn't work. It's like there are thousands of data points to show that it's a bad strategy. So seeing that over and over again was frustrating. But won the game, so you can't be too mad. But that
it is tough. Even like I'd like to see the percentage of times we threw on first down, and then of the ones we did throw on first down, how many of those were in the second half? It looked like we were getting a lot more play action on first down in the second half.
Yeah.
But straight just throwing the ball on first down is like, I don't know. That feels like a staple of a modern offense, and it's something we're getting. I'd like to see us get closer to.
Yeah, and I think the weather really threw a wrench in both teams' game plan. So I tweeted before the game, I was like, it sucks that we're not going to get like a true idea of what the Bears' offense is going to look like, because I don't think we got that today because of the weather.
100%.
So I mean, we're gonna talk about the game, or I'm gonna try and break down the game, but it might even be a futile effort to do, because it wouldn't surprise me if I don't think the Bears are running around a lot of outside zone. I think it was mostly inside zone.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and
I don't
look,
think they would want people going lateral.
Yeah, they didn't want people going lateral. So I think that's a huge that takes out what your entire offense is built around. So that's difficult. But yeah, let's talk about the guy we really haven't talked about much is Justin Fields. And I think we gotta talk about him a little bit. As bad as he looked in the first half, there's a variety of factors of why that happened. Regardless of play calling, the offensive line breaking down, receivers not getting open. So it wasn't all on him, but he didn't look good in the first half. But then coming out in the second half, and that play to Pettis, like that was obviously a broken play, but that was a play that Justin Fields and maybe Lamar Jackson make in this league to avoid the rusher.
On the backside too.
Avoid the rusher on the backside, and then kind of just make plays happen and eventually find Pettis. And I think that was just a game changer. Like something just clicked in their heads after that.
They literally, the whole side just went,
yeah.
All right. Okay.
Like we played like shit. We just go to touchdown. It's 10-7 now, like new ball game. Let's just start over. So that play, again, complete broken play, but that was the defining moment of the game. Changed
It's
everything.
so funny because that play happened at like the peak of like how negative it was getting.
Yeah,
it was like the drive wasn't really going great either.
No,
and it happened, and it was like, holy shit!
All right,
we're in this.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, yeah, we scored. Now we're only down 2 touchdowns. Oh wait, no, we're only down 3 because the 49ers haven't scored much either. Yeah, that was a complete game changer.
It was crazy.
From a mindset standpoint. That was
exactly. And you know what, man? It was cool to see what this Bears team is like with some momentum.
Yeah, because once they got that momentum, they did not let it give it back.
They didn't seem scared of the moment. I thought after the first touchdown, it was going to get back to being scared. But I also did think to myself, like, maybe there's a chance that kind of like got the jitters off of everybody. And then the second drive happened and we scored, and it was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the pick happened. When the pick happened, I went, okay, now this is for years, this has been where the Bears either don't capitalize and they're like a bad team, or they just start to put the pressure on. They close, and they did. Scoring a touchdown there, I was like, oh, man, we're going to win this game.
Yeah. Yeah, and once that play happened to Pettis, Fields was completely different after that. Every throw he made was on the money. I don't think he had one that wasn't after that. I mean, he didn't throw the ball a ton after that, but they were all dimes.
Yep.
Maybe besides maybe like one, but that was
I think
I think turned that game around.
The Mooney one, man, it looked to me like the interception. The Mooney one, it looked to me that he was focused on looking off the safety, and he kept his eyes to the right the whole time, and kind of decided he was going to Mooney this play.
Yeah.
And the safety, what was his name? Hufanga?
Hufanga.
Oh my goodness, he had a game.
He was good. Yeah, he's going to be good.
Yeah. Anyway, he just stepped in the lane, so I think that was just kind of him not really going through his reads as much, being predetermined. But after that, like, he opened it up. He also one-hopped a pass in the first half that I thought was like, okay, that's a bad sign. But other than that, I can't think of. He had an overthrow, maybe. I thought he played a really good game.
After that play, he played great, and he did what he needed to do to win. It's not always going to look pretty, but he made plays with his feet. When the passing offense wasn't working, he was still making plays with his feet, trying to create. I think the interception, that was him definitely predetermining a read.
Yeah,
it was him being frustrated, I think, with the offense.
I think so,
a little
too.
bit, and he was like, I gotta do something. No one else is doing anything. Like, I got to make a play, so I'm going to throw to my guy, Darnell Mooney. And then,
yeah, I think so, too. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. But, it's week 1, new offense, second-year quarterback. Like,
1-0.
Make mistakes. 1-0. That's the only number that matters is 1-0. I don't care how many interceptions.
Now we get a nice week to get ready for the Packers. I think we're going to Green Bay, right?
Momentum. Yeah, Packers are probably playing like right now. Hopefully they're already losing to the Vikings.
Yeah. But, man, I had the second string going with Red Zone.
Oh, yeah.
Just the best sports product on earth.
Absolutely. There's nothing.
Especially if you play fantasy, man.
Yeah. I don't watch Red Zone when the Bears are on, even like on a second TV, just because I want to focus. But like,
dial.
If the Bears are not, you got to go Red Zone.
Yeah.
It's the greatest.
I can't. I got it there on mute, and I got the game going. But during commercials, I'll put the Red Zone on. It's good, man.
I mean, like, yeah. What an invention. Whoever invented that needs.
The Octobox, seeing the Octobox today. That was like, okay, we're back.
Yeah, that was.
Let's look at some of the other scores, man. Pittsburgh and Cincy, 20-20, 3 minutes left in OT.
All right. Yeah, I have not paid attention to other games at all. Let's look.
Indianapolis, Houston, 20-20, 1 minute left in OT.
How were the Jaguars and Washington doing? I got money on that game. So
who'd you like?
I have Jaguars plus 3.5.
I think you lost. Washington got them by 6, I think.
I had that parlayed with the Bears plus 7. So, that sucks. But hey, you win some, you lose some. No big deal there. But yeah, how's Trubisky looked? I haven't paid attention to any games across besides the Bears.
Oh yeah, it's Trubisky there. I also read a stat.
18-31. It doesn't look bad. Looked okay. 18-31, 149 yards, 1 TD. So not great, but no interceptions. So
first half for Justin Fields was something like 19 yards and a touchdown. 19 yards and a pick.
3 of 9, 19 yards and a pick. And then what was his final stat line?
I think he probably had like 120 yards. Not much.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was like crazy, but that was also, due to the weather. 2 touchdowns is pretty good. Led a third touchdown.
I wonder how many passing yards Trey Lance ended up with. The Bears D looked good, man. I mean, the rain.
Yeah. The defense, I thought, played as well as you could expect for, a team that's in the first year of a new defense with some young rookie defensive backs.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be excited to go back and see on a snap-for-snap basis how Dom Robinson really played. Yeah. But, man, he was a quarterback like 3-4 years ago.
That's insane. The quarterback and then wide receiver.
I know.
Usually, if you're too slow to play wide receiver, you move to tight end.
Why
he moved to DN, but I'm glad he did, and I'm glad Brian Foles drafted him because he looked amazing today. And that was good. So Justin Fields had 121 yards passing, 7.1 average, 2 TDs. Lance had 164 yards, 5.9 average, 0 TDs. So yeah, I think no matter how you cut it, he outplayed. Justin Fields outplayed Trey Lance for sure. Lance had a few more rushing yards, but nothing too groundbreaking. But yeah,
Bears' schedule is easy in the first half of the season, man. And if this team plays that disciplined and that, hungry every game, let's look at the next couple games we got.
yeah. I mean, the Packers' game is gonna be difficult. I don't
Even
see
if
them.
we say we'll give the Packers a win there, we're
Yeah,
1-1. We can
One
beat
and
the
one.
Texans.
Easily
beat
beat.
the
I think.
Giants.
Yeah, Texans.
Turning your squad into a car wash?
I think there's a chance that we can beat the
ESPN
Vikings.
ads. There's definitely a chance to beat the Vikings.
I think we can beat the Commanders.
I think we could definitely beat the Commanders.
The Patriots didn't look good today.
I didn't before the season started. I knew the Patriots weren't going to be good this year.
There is a non-zero, like a fairly realistic timeline where the Bears enter November with 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah, like 5-1 or something.
Like,
yeah, and like
I mean,
I think I had the Bears winning like 6 games this year. A lot of national media have them winning 2 or 3. So like
this was such
that'd
a
be
good game.
Yeah.
Just for everybody. I mean, they're just gonna say, "Oh, the rain was crazy. Let's see them do it against the Packers," and then the Packers are gonna beat our ass. Told ya.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say this because I hate the Packers so much. I kind of fully expect to lose the Packers. But if we lose like 30-28, like 31-28, something like that, like that's all I'm asking for. Let's put together. We'll be hopefully have fair weather. I want to see the offense do something when it's not raining and everything like that. So like I said, I don't know how much we can gauge from.
I wouldn't put any money on the Bears. But I also like this 49ers game, there is a path to victory, and it's the same formula. It's being well coached and relying on our talent.
Yeah, and so far, that's so good on that because like you said, discipline, not a lot of penalties. I mean, the biggest penalty was the fucking towel.
Other than that, we had something crazy,
like no penalties
for 9 yards or something.
So that's nice to see. No penalties, no burned timeouts randomly.
Oh, yeah,
you just couldn't get a play call in. So, I mean, the bar is so low for this team.
It's funny, it's so low, but it's almost just like for so long we've noticed that stuff that no news was such good news on the Eberflus front.
Yeah, exactly. Eberflus, like I have no, I didn't even consider Eberflus. I was talking about Getsy a little bit, but yeah, and I think that's like you said, no news is good news there when you don't have to think about your head coach. Mm-hmm. You don't you're not sitting there like, how's our head coach going to screw this next play up? Are we going to throw a flag? Are we going to challenge something that has no chance of being overturned? Like, what's going to happen here? And then not even thinking about that is a nice change of pace.
It's also nice to have a head coach that's not the play caller. Like a head coach that's just coaching a football team.
I think, I know. I always go back and forth. I think there really are pros and cons to both. Because you obviously, if you have a head coach with play caller, you get the familiarity if the offensive coordinator leaves. But I think there is something to be said about an offensive head coach not calling plays and be able to coach the whole team and not just, he's not looking at his play sheet, think about what he's going to call next. He's, coaching. So I think that it's a double A. It could go either way. But yeah, I'm excited to see how
it looks like Indy and Houston are going to tie.
They're going to tie. There's always a tie week 1.
20 seconds left in OT. Cleveland just squeaks by Carolina 26-24. Atlanta loses to New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
But they were up 10 in the 4th. They lost by 1. Miami kind of ran over New England.
Right. Atlanta winning is basically like the Bears winning. It's like the base everyone on the team last year. It's like Bears South.
Minnesota up early.
Okay.
Minnesota up early. There's also a world where we go into Lambeau and the Packers start 0-2 this year. That could happen. I want to live in that world, man.
I want to live in that world too. That seems like a nice world to live in. What do you think the line is going to be on the Bears game next week? Bears Packers.
It depends.
It was 7 this week against the 49ers.
If they lose by 30 points to the Vikings, it'll be different, obviously. But if it happened today, I'd say that they would. I mean, they gave the 49ers 7 in Chicago, which means
they
actually thought it was going to be like 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be more than 7. It's going to be like 10 points. It's going to be double-digit points. I'm taking the Bears plus whatever that is.
I don't know, especially depending on what goes. I bet you it'd be maybe like 8.5, 7.5.
I'm guessing like 10.
Or 1-0. They can't hit us that much.
The like you said earlier, they're gonna say it was the rain.
Monsoon game,
Yeah, monsoon game. You don't know anything about that.
Dude, tell you what.
If it's double digits, I'm taking it.
If they do that all week and then we go into Green Bay and win, they're not
It is
gonna know what to
double
do.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh man, that would be something.
Literally,
Yeah, I don't know what I would do with myself. I live in Wisconsin, so the Bears go into Green Bay next week as double-digit underdogs or 8-point underdogs, whatever it is, and beat them. Oh my god, I'm gonna be insufferable walking down the street.
Literally, dude.
Just strolling around my Bears jersey, just
the
biggest ass.
That like first-time head coaches for the Bears are like the last 5 of them have all won a game against the Packers in their first year.
Yeah, and the other side was like the last 5 head coaches lost their first game, right?
Oh yeah,
or like
man,
last 3.
We're like low key bad week 1. We've been
that is true. Even when we were good, I always feel like we came out flat week 1. So
not anymore, man. 1-0
era here, 1-0
era. It does feel like. I mean, again, we have to do it on a day where it's not piss and rain, but
yeah,
it feels good to be part of a team that's at least disciplined. They were 100% disciplined out there in a game where it was very easy to lose your discipline.
Yeah, we could have. Yeah, they lose their discipline or just given up and stopped trying. Like I would.
Yeah.
Like I said, 2020 Bears, they give up at halftime.
Oh yeah, Nagy might not even come out of the locker room.
Yeah,
you guys take this one.
Wearing his stupid visor. God, I hate Matt
Nagy. Yeah. Let's not stew. It's a happier time.
We could spend the next like 2 hours shitting on Matt Nagy, but what else do we need to talk about? The thing I noticed, I know we talked about Dominic Robinson playing really well, and he did. Travis Gibson did not play on the edge very much. I don't know if you noticed.
Did he play inside?
He played inside a lot. I think like exclusively. And then I have to go back and look, but I don't remember seeing him on the outside. He would come in. It would be Muhammad on the outside, Muhammad and Quinn early downs. And then passing downs, Robinson would come in for Muhammad, and then Gibson would be rushing from the 3 technique, which I thought was really interesting. And also, I would like to see Gibson more than Muhammad, to be honest.
I'll tell you what, I was just pleasantly surprised by the entire defensive rotation on that line today. I think it's it's hard to replace Mac. Yeah, but if you can do so, through a couple of people and rotate and keep boys fresh. Yep. It's not a horrible idea. That second round pick that we traded for him either turned into Brisker or Gordon,
Brisker, yeah.
It turned into Brisker. God, I like Brisker, man. They got the energy. Also, and you're going to see it too on the film. You probably did see it. The Eddie Jackson interception looked like classic Eddie Jackson.
It was so classic.
The 4 or 5 hard steps across with the crossing route and then sit and jump right back on the slant was just it's Ed Reed type stuff.
Yeah, that is something that was so nice to see. I mean, obviously, you've seen Fields, rebounding, leading to comebacks number 1 on the list, but number 2 might be seeing Eddie Jackson look like Eddie Jackson again.
Yeah, 100%.
And he had a couple plays where he was laying the wood too. He was coming downhill hitting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple of those.
He got run over by Deebo Samuel in the first half, and the whole world on the internet exploded. But the fact was, Deebo was untouched to the second layer. Of course, he's going to run over a safety that's trying to come downhill.
Right.
Or trying to go sideline to sideline. Sorry.
No, yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, that was so. I think if we go, like the most exciting things to see, it's Fields, maybe Dominic Robinson, and then maybe Eddie Jackson, or like Eddie Jackson, Dominic Robinson are fighting for that second spot. If we're to go in like our 3 like things that you were most excited to see.
Number 1. Star of the game, number 1, Matt Eberflus. That team looked completely different than the team from Matt Nagy. There was no quit, and there was no like lost your composure stuff. Everybody was in it the whole game, and it paid off. The second half was. I've seen so many Bears teams fall apart there, so that's my first star. Okay. The second star, I think, goes to Justin Fields. And again, with almost the whole team, it was a story of the first and second half. But for him to stay composed, rebound like that, and go something like 2 touchdowns and 110 yards in the second half, it's very exciting against a team that was in the NFC Championship game last year.
Right. Yeah. I think people forget 49ers are a good team. They're a very good team.
Chris Sims picked him number 1 in his power rankings.
Well, Chris Sims is an idiot, but that just goes to show. I mean, Chris Sims is an idiot, but they, are in that conversation, at least in top 5 conversation.
And then I'd probably go Dom Robinson. I love the.
Tom
I,
Robinson.
I might even be able to say defensive rookies as a whole because I think a lot of them
Sure.
flash the reasons that we got them. Cornerbacks historically have a really hard time. DBs as a whole in their first couple years, but I think Gordon and Brisker look good. But man, Don Robinson's sack was clean as a whistle
Against Mike McGlinchey too. Who's a
against
really
Mike
good right tackle.
McGlinchey.
Like
He clean. Mike McGlinchey barely touched him.
they touched him. Yeah.
And then he got him down with one hand, a big, strong quarterback in Trey Lance.
Yeah.
I think the arrow's pointing up for that Bears D.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did we see Trey Lance look like he was going to get sacked and escape, but not on that play because, man, he's like 40-inch arms. It's crazy.
There was some, I will say, the 49ers, there were some tough calls. The Bears got some calls.
I'd say so.
Remember the push-off?
Ayuk.
Ayuk, yeah.
That was. I could see what the refs saw,
and like he did catch him right in his chest, but
to
some extent too, like you're allowed that contact within 5 yards. Where was it?
Yeah. Like I said, I could see what the refs saw, but from that angle, because he did like have his arm extended, and if you were seeing it from the right angle, I could see it. But that was a rough call for them. But we also had the fucking towel call. We've already talked about that, but I'm not. I have no sympathy for the 49ers. Maybe they had a couple rough calls because we got literally robbed of 3 points.
Like we take those. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's good, man.
What else?
It'd be a good time to be a Bears fan. Everybody had those receipts. To be honest, if I was the Chicago Bears, I would go and get the receipts of all the Bears fans from the first half.
They're probably
Dan Pompey, who's like a legend in the Bears beat game. To be honest, he kind of rubs me the wrong way because he's he's fairly negative, and even him like in this first half in a game that has no conditions like indicative for a good offense is saying, maybe it wasn't just Matt Nagy, was it? And it was like, relax, Dan. It's the first half of a 17-game season.
Yeah. I mean, I was tweeting about how the Bears didn't look good, but that was just objectively true. I wasn't bringing Matt.
The Bears
I wasn't bringing Matt Nagy.
Didn't look good. Although they did have those 2 turnovers, and oh man, it's gonna be fun to go back and watch the tape on this one.
Yeah, definitely. At least the second half. The first half might be rough to get through, but the second half will be nice to watch. How about one thing that worries some, is I know it's I shouldn't even say this because of the field conditions, but Cairo Santos missing those choke points was rough. I'm just trying to think of anything we might have missed talking about.
One thing I'm excited to get some clarification on is what's going on with Jalen Johnson.
Yes, I did want to bring that up because
scary.
That is scary.
It looked like maybe the way he was limping, he was favoring like a hyperextension or something. Which
he was definitely favoring something, but he was jogging off, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Clean.
And if it was any ligament shit, you wouldn't be jogging off.
Yeah. So I think probably a good sign that but I mean, if he misses any time, that's the one injury on defense that I think could sink everything because
I completely agree.
Our depth at corner is
100%. And now Kyler Gordon is your CB1.
Yeah.
Like that.
I like Kyler Gordon, but he's a rookie. Yeah. So I like him in the role he's in right now. Now, Kindle Vildor now is going to be on the field every season.
Kindle Vildor didn't look great.
No, he didn't. And then, I guess in that situation, probably if you move Gordon outside and then you get DeAndre Houston Carson or Crookshank in the slot, probably.
Yeah, I actually like Crookshank, but apparently Jalen Johnson actually finished the game on that last drive. So he
did. Okay. So then they wouldn't have let him go back into that game on a wet field if there was any issue. Okay, 100%. So awesome. Don't even have to worry about that then.
Do you see the video of the Bears sliding on the grass?
It did. That was pretty cool because
awesome, man.
Apparently that was on the broadcast. I didn't watch us kneel down. I'm assuming we knelt down because I was setting up this stream.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that live, but I saw someone tweet it out. That is pretty cool. That's a team that's having fun. Love to see.
And they're 1-0.
1-0. How can you not have fun?
The Bears, man. I was thinking to myself the last week that I felt like this team was reminiscent to the 2018 Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really
coming out of nowhere.
Coming out of nowhere, the second year first round QB. Yeah. No one believed in us, but it was a team that it was like, man, that was when that was Club Dub, where it was like it really felt like one win's momentum was like pretty significant on the impact of the season, and like we just started stringing them together.
Yeah, I would say from that standpoint, yes. I think the 2018 probably had more talent, especially on
Khalil
defense.
Mack. We added Khalil
Khalil
Mack.
Mack and Akeem Hicks.
Started.
But I know exactly what you're saying. It's more like the feel of where
It's a young team with a new like regime.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new regime that's never lost. That's a good thing to say.
Yeah. Matty Eberflus and Ryan Poles 1-0, undefeated,
never lost.
never lost. Can't say that. Yeah, Matt LaFleur can't say that. He's lost plenty of games.
Yeah,
2 playoff games. What a joke.
Same with Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick, he has so many losses.
Belichick has so many losses.
Oh my God, what a bum. I think it's safe to say that, we have the best coaching staff and GM in football. I'll say it.
Without a doubt.
Just look at the stats. Look at the numbers.
Yeah, they've never lost. I will say that's a huge feather in their cap. That's an awesome organization for the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. And as much as we say, the conditions were crazy, they were playing on the same field.
Exactly. That's what I kept saying. They were playing on the same field, and they did move the ball better than us in the first half. They did in the same, but that second half was completely different. And yeah.
Oh, man.
Are you still watching that video of them sliding?
It's going to be a meme.
Oh, yeah. Sliding into your DMs, like.
Yeah, me sliding into the work week, like.
Yeah.
Or me sliding into the weekend or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to use that very liberally.
Oh.
What?
Christian Watson burned Minnesota deep, fully, burned by them.
I thought he was.
Aaron Rodgers put it in the bucket, and he dropped it.
Oh man, you hate to see that.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, man, a young player like that making a mistake. Oh man, you just hate it.
Oh man, Mitch Trubisky leads the Steelers to a win over the Bengals. Fucking right, Mitch. Attaboy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of him, but he also had 175 yards passing. Good for him. I hope he does well because I've nothing against Mitch Trubisky. Pride of Northeast Ohio. Gotta love that. I do think he got a bad rap in Chicago, but.
He's a good kid.
Let's be honest. He's a good kid, but he had less than 200 yards passing. I don't know how much he led them to a game, but yeah.
Wow, man. What a way to start the regime, man.
Yeah. Great start.
Want to know.
All right. Anything else we missed? We missed talking about it. I always have fear on these post-game shows that I'm going to go through the whole thing. We're going to sign off and then be like, oh shit, we didn't talk about that one key play that changed the game or something.
The tenacity. I think that's something that we were expecting to see, or were told we were going to see, was that people rush into the ball and never really playing into the whistle and really playing into the whistle.
Definitely saw that.
And I think they did. I think we heard a lot about trying to force fumbles, and we had that peanut punch by Jalen in the first quarter.
The peanut punch.
Nice, man.
That was
nice.
And the 33, you could have told me that.
Yeah, you got a Tillman jersey on it now, or is that a Jalen?
Nope, Tillman. I'm so proud.
But yeah, that's what you love to see, man.
Yeah.
No, this was an awesome game for Bears fans. I don't think that.
Yeah.
Now we're going into week 2, 1-0.
Yeah. As Bears fans, there's nothing but nothing to be proud, nothing to be not proud of. Nothing but happiness going forward. It was an ugly game, but they won. It was an ugly game that they won, and they won. I mean, they won by 2. It was a 2-possession game at the end there. So
I know.
I think this. I mean, it probably could have gone better. It could have been, but
could have been cleaner.
Could have been cleaner. But week 1, a new offense, monsoon rains. I don't think that could have gone any better given the circumstances.
Fire me up, man. 1-0.
1-0.
People didn't want to listen. I was talking to my dad on the phone, and I was like, listen, I'm a pretty realistic. I'm optimistic, but I'm realistic. I'll be honest. Yeah. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that we go into Green Bay and win next week. Yeah. I could see a path forward, and I would be optimistic, and I'm going to hope for that all week. But I'm fairly realistic. But I was saying to my dad, am I taking crazy pills? I don't see all this lack of talent that the rest of the national media was saying we have. I thought we did a good job of as far as the player profile that Poles and Eberflus have identified. There is athleticism everywhere, and if you're coached well, you're going to have a chance in every game.
Yeah, they're betting on athleticism, which is what you have to do. So that's why, I would always hate when the Bears, under Ryan Pace, and now we're getting on a huge tangent here, but he would draft, guys late in the round in the draft who were unathletic, and they're this is going to be a core special teams guy. Well, draft an athletic guy. He could also be a core special.
Yeah, he'll figure it out.
And I hope he figures it out. And if he doesn't, you just you used a 5th-round pick on him. So 100%. Go sign a special teams guy if you need to. So yeah, the fact that they're just loading up on athletes just up and down the roster is just really great to see. And we saw that everyone out there was moving. Everyone's fast.
100%. And
finally.
next week too, we're gonna get very likely get like a healthy and in position Lucas Patrick and
Yep.
Velus Jones.
Yeah, hopefully Velus Jones. I wouldn't hold out hope for Velus Jones. I think
Really, you think it'd be a little bit longer?
I think it might be longer than people think because I think he re-aggravated a hamstring injury.
Interesting.
Not ruling it out. He certainly could, but the Lucas Patrick thing is going to be big because he should be starting at center.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see once he's back. We'll kind of get an idea of what our line is for the year.
Yeah,
because
and then
there's still some cloud around what's going on at left and right guard. I mean,
Yep.
sorry, left guard and center.
Yeah, I think that will be big, and especially hopefully it's not a monsoon in Green Bay or anything like that. It'll just be a normal game, so we'll be able to see what our offensive line looks like.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Braxton Jones, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. He did struggle early on, but like, it's a what condition? It's hard to get into your kick slide when you're worrying about slipping and falling. So, him, and if we get Patrick at center, I also think Patrick playing center is going to help Justin Fields too. It's also going to help Tevin Jenkins as well because they'll be on the field at the same time. He's going to be calling the the protections and everything. He knows the offense. We'll be able to actually run an outside zone because the weather won't be shit.
Yeah, it won't be a little lake.
Yeah, so we can actually see what the offense looks like, and they'll actually be able to build off of things like that.
I love that for Justin Fields, man. He wanted to beat San Francisco, and he did.
Yeah.
I feel like the Bears, man, could be one of those teams this year. It's like, don't let them get hot.
I mean, teams go from worst to first all the time, so I'm not going to rule out the Bears doing that yet.
And it's like I look at the like if you look at the schedule too, like we haven't like the schedule is set up in a nice way where like we have a slate of a bunch of really easy games early in the season to build momentum, and then we have like a mini bye too. We have like
because we play Thursday night and then
we don't play until the Monday. Exactly.
So what week is that?
11 days off, and it's nice because it's playing the Commanders on a short week, and then 11 days later we play the Patriots Monday Night Football.
And we've already said, but you don't think the Patriots are as good as?
I don't think the Patriots are very good, and then we got to play the Cowboys. If at that point we're 5-2 or something, the Cowboys might be chattering their teeth about the Bears, not the other way around.
Right.
The Dolphins beat the Patriots today, but hard to say where they're at. We still have the Lions, the Falcons, and the Jets on the.
Yeah. I mean, Lions, Falcons, Jets. That wouldn't obviously not shock me if that's 3-0. Maybe you lose the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are pretty good, but
the second last game of the season is the Lions again too. Like there's 4 easy wins in the back half of the schedule.
Here's the thing: with this team and how it's set up, like I wouldn't surprise me if we have 17 one-possession games.
Yeah,
or 16 because I guess this was technically a 2-possession game.
Yeah.
So 16 more one-possession games. Like they're going to be in every game. Even the games that they lose, it's going to be by a touchdown, or it's not going to be by 2 or 3 touchdowns like it has in the past. So hammer the Bears. If Vegas is giving you points, is giving the Bears points, take it because I think they're going to be close.
I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? It might not be very long. They'll give us any more points.
True. Take it while you still can, I guess is the way to say it.
Maybe we're being insanely optimistic about a weird, wet game in Chicago, but we'll take it, man.
You're a little bit more optimistic than I am, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm a pessimist by nature, I think. So I think this will be good. This will be a good tandem here because we'll even each other out.
Yeah, you'll be right in there. You need to burn it down. I will say that like I was bad and that like I was like Nagy can do it. Don't worry. And I was like, oh, pace is good. Like, don't worry.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did the same. Everyone does the same thing.
Yeah.
But
good stuff, man. 1-0.
1-0. All right. I think this is probably a good point to wrap it up. I think we talked about everything.
Too. We like you were saying. I think the game plan for us is to do a reaction pod like this every week, and then sometime a video during the week, kind of wrapping up what we learned when the tape came out and previewing what's coming up for the next week.
Yep. Yeah. So we're going to be doing every week. We'll be doing one of these post-game shows. Then I'll still be doing an all 22 breakdown. We're going to have more articles written, which I'm really excited about. And then Luke and I are going to do a preview show as well later in the week. And if we do forget to talk about something in this instant reaction, we'll bring it up then.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luke, really excited to have you and doing these podcasts.
Yeah, this is awesome, man.
This is going to be fun. Everyone else, bear down. We'll talk to you next week.
Bear down. 1-0, baby.
Love it.